Okay, here we go again. This is Math 99L. This is our third activity of the semester. Today's date is the 3rd. And remember that the guided practice problems from this worksheet are due today at 4 p.m. on Brightspace, so do it 1600. Upload them to Brightspace in the assignment section. Okay, let's get right into this. We're going to talk about quadratic equations. Okay, but before that, let's get a little warm up here, because we're going to be working with quadratic equations and graphing. It's important that we first talk about factoring. Which I'm sure you're doing in class right now. So here we go straight away with the first guided practice. These are some of the problems you're going to turn in. Guided practice part 1. Try and make it crystal clear. It's in red here. Factor the following quadratics. One, y equals x squared minus 4x minus 21, and 2, y equals 6x squared plus 5x minus 4. This should maybe take you, what, 5 minutes? At most. So just have a go at these two. And pause the video and then come back in 5 minutes. Okay, so I can probably do these right below here. This one isn't bad. I'm looking for two numbers and multiply, give me minus 21, and add it, give me 4. Minus 4 with 3 and 7. And this is minus plus. There we have, we factored it. This guy isn't so easy, and so I don't know if you've seen this before. I've shown it to students in the past, and they either love it or they absolutely hate it. So that's your call. Whenever this first number here isn't a 1, which we call monic, not important, then there's a little bit more work you have to do. So I use this thing I learned years and years ago called the X box. Okay, so what you do is you take the outside numbers, the 6 and the minus 4, and you multiply them together. You put that here, so minus 24. And then you take the inside number, 5, and you put it here. Okay. Then you take this term, the 6x squared, and you put it here. And you take this term over here, minus 4, and you put it here. So that's the setup. So now what you're looking for is you're looking for two numbers when multiplied give you minus 24, and when added give you 5. And let's see, 2 and 12, no, 3 and 8, right? So 3 and 8. So they have to multiply to negative 24 and add to 5, so it must be that guy is negative. All right, so now we go, okay. 8 times minus 3 is minus 24, good. 8 plus minus 3 is 5, sweet. So now you take these two numbers, the minus 3 and the minus 8, and the order doesn't matter, you can put them either place. So I'm gonna put minus 3 with an x here, and I'm gonna put 8x there. Okay, so what we have here is a times table that's already been filled in, and that's the part I think makes it hard. So let's see, I'm gonna put 3x here and 2x here because 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Cool. 3x times what gives me minus 3x? Minus 1. 2x times what gives me 8x? Plus 4. And if you did all this right, minus 1 times minus 4 should give you minus 4. So when you factor this thing, you get 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 1. Or you could just guess and check your way until you got this guy. The most important piece, though, is to check. When you get your factorization, make sure you FOIL it and make sure it gives you back what you started with, right? So let's check here. 6x squared, yep. Plus 8x minus 3x, yeah, that's 5, minus 4. Got it. Okay. Okay, so talking about quadratic equations, definition. A quadratic equation in standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The graph is a parabola. Okay. If a is greater than 0, it opens up. And if a is less than 0, the parabola opens down. Okay. Now, for the purposes of this little class, we're going to talk about this in a different way than maybe you're doing it in Math 100. So, I'm just rewriting what I had on the back page here. And let's say this thing factors, right? We just factored it. Let's say we have, so now we have a factorization here. X plus P and X plus Q. Actually, let's make these negatives here. Sorry. I wasn't sure I was going to do this till right now. X minus P, X minus Q. And we're assuming P and Q are positive, so there's no problems there. Okay. In this factored form, which you can always get, X equals P is an x-intercept, and X equals Q is another x-intercept. Right? These are the places on the graph where y equals 0. Sure enough, if you take x minus p and set it equal to 0 for y, this tells you x equals p. Similarly for x equals q. So when you're graphing, and you have the factored form, let's say in this example I have p over here, that's one of my zeros. Let's say I have q over here, that's the other x-intercept. And let's say we know that a is greater than 0, so it opens up. So without doing any other math, I know I'm going to intercept here. I'm going to intercept here. And then somewhere down below here, I'm going to find my vertex. Okay? There's also going to be a y-intercept. And the y-intercept is the place on the graph where x equals 0. Okay, so up here, if you plug in x equals 0, you get that the y-intercept is c. So this point here is going to be c. And that's the same c that's sitting up here in your standard form. And now, this is the best. For me, this is the best way to graph anything. This is how I teach graphing in calculus. Of course, the equations look different, and we do other stuff. But all we look for are the x-intercepts, which you get by factoring, the y-intercept, which you get by plugging in 0 for x, and then you look at the end behavior on whether a is positive or negative. If a was negative, this thing would open down. Okay. All right, so let's graph a few like this, because I know sometimes in other classes you do the HK form where you have to complete the square on this and then put it in the HK form and remember how all that works, which is fine, but I think this is much cleaner. Right? So here's guided practice number 2. So you're going to factor and graph the following. Exactly like this. Find the zeros, find the y-intercept, and look at how this thing opens, and then sketch a graph. So there's going to be 4 of them. Y equals x squared minus 16x minus 64. Y equals x squared minus 9. Y equals 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. And the last one, y equals 4x squared plus x minus 18. These are going to take a while. So I would say pause this video, because this is really the crux of the day here. Pause this video for about 15 minutes. Should be what it takes to get through these 4, maybe even longer. It's up to you, right? I don't have much to say after this, but besides go over at least one of these. Okay. It's loud. Okay. So let's do one of these. Since 4 is sitting here on the bottom, I'm going to do this guy, right? So let's factor this. All right, so 18 times 4 is what, 72? So I'm looking for 2 numbers, and multiply give me minus 72, and add it give me 1. That's 9 and 8. Okay. So I have 4x squared there, minus 18. I'm going to put 9x here, and minus 8x there. Okay, so let's see here. 4. This is probably 2x.